Hey, Allison Verhalen here with AV Writing Services, and today I am talking to you about your content marketing strategy. What is it? Why do you need one? So first of all, it's where the strategy comes in. It's how you get in front of your target audience, get them to your website, and convert those leads into customers. If you're just blogging about whatever you feel like, maybe someone asked you a question at a networking event, maybe you saw something that interested you and thought, I should write a blog post about that. That is content marketing. That is not content marketing strategy, because you're writing about what you want to write about, not necessarily what your audience is curious about, not necessarily what they're searching for. And it might be something that everyone else has already covered to death, and you don't even know it because you haven't bothered to do that research. So content marketing strategy really makes the most of your content marketing efforts by making sure that whatever content you create and wherever you distribute it, you're going to get the most out of that effort. You got to do the research first to make sure that it is relevant to your audience, it answers their questions, it addresses their pain points, and positions you as an authority in your industry, as well as finding that gap in the content. You don't want to write about something that everyone else has already covered, because then you're not going to rank. Your content isn't going to show up in any searches because everyone else has already flooded the internet with answers to those questions. So you have to find that gap. So now that you know what a content marketing strategy is and why it's so important, I'm going to give you a few tips on how to make the most of it. So the very first one is know your audience. Know who they are, their age range, their income range, maybe their job description. Not entirely necessary unless you're in a B2B industry, in which case it is absolutely necessary that you know who you're targeting and where they are in that corporate ladder, or if they're a solopreneur or small business owner or what have you, and know their hobbies and their interests and what do they do in their free time. Just knowing what they want as it relates to your business is not really enough, because you can find creative ways to tie their hobbies and their entertainment interests into your marketing strategy if you know what those interests are. So for example, May 4th is coming up. If you happen to know that your audience is big Star Wars fans, they tend to like Star Wars a lot, you can try and find a way to work May the 4th into your content, your marketing content next month. Super easy, and it's creative, and it'll stick out in their minds, and they'll remember you, and they'll love you for it because they will tie you into that other thing that they love. They'll remember your brand in conjunction with Star Wars, which they already love. So know your audience, and then know where they're hanging out online, right? So obviously you want to create content for your website and drive them to your website. But once you create those awesome blog posts that you want to show the world, you want to get them in front of your target audience. You want to distribute them on social media. Which social media platforms are they hanging out on? Don't try to be on all of the social media platforms, because that way lies madness. You're never going to be effective. You're going to burn out. You're going to have a few scattered posts on each channel, and you're not going to be able to really engage and create authentic relationships with people on those channels because you're too scattered. You're trying to do everything at once. So I would say if you're a solopreneur, pick two. If you have enough of a budget to hire people to manage social media marketing for you, whether they're taking all of it or some of it off your hands, maybe you can be on 3 or 4. But really your audience is going to be primarily on 2, maybe 3 social media channels. So figure out where that is. Obviously, if you're in a B2B industry, you're going to want to be on LinkedIn. If you're targeting an older audience, Facebook is where you want to go. And then the younger you go, it's going to be like Instagram, and then Twitter and Pinterest. And then the young people are on like Snapchat and TikTok. So a lot of it is age range. A lot of it is also visual. If you have a very visual product or service that you're selling, Instagram and Pinterest might be the way to go. So you have to know your audience. You have to know where they are hanging out online, how you can get in front of them, and where they are spending time where they will be most receptive to your message. For example, people in my target audience might be going on Twitter or Facebook just to hang out, but they might also be going to LinkedIn when they want to learn about their business, when they want to learn about certain products or services or what's new in their industry. And so that's where I can really get in front of them and convert those leads into customers, because they're most receptive to my message when they are there. So now that you need to know, you know who your audience is, you know where they're hanging out online, you need to know their pain points. And this is part of knowing not only your audience, but also knowing your business. What problem are you solving for them? You have to address that problem in all of your content marketing efforts, right? And that is, you have to know what's keeping them up at night. What are they worrying about? What is that constant nagging feeling at the back of their head going, things are going to go wrong if you don't fix this problem, right? That's what you have to target and really focus on in all of your marketing efforts, because that's where you really shine, right? That's the problem that you're solving. They have this problem and you're going to solve it for them. You just have to get in front of them and convince them that you're going to solve this problem for them. So once you know what their pain points are, you have to know what questions they're asking, right? So they have this pain, they want to know how to solve it. What questions are they asking? And that's where your keyword research comes in, because you want to know, A, what questions they're asking, but also, like I said, you don't want to create content that answers questions that everyone else has already answered, right? So you want to make sure that your audience is asking these questions, but also that it has not already been covered by a lot of other people. And that's where your SEO competition score is going to come in when you check when you do your keyword research, right? You've got the search volume, which obviously you want to be high so that you have a fair number of people coming to your website, but you want to make sure that it's a fairly low competition score so you actually have a shot at ranking for that particular keyword. So that you got to find that sweet spot, because that's where the content gap is, where you have people who are looking for something and they're not finding a whole lot of answers, and that's where you can sneak in and say, hey, I know you're asking these questions and I have the answers for you, come on over. And then you get them to your website. So you have to do that keyword research. Pro tip, short keywords, 1 to 2 words are fine, but the gold is really in the long tail keywords, 3 to 5 words, search terms. That's where people have a higher search intent, right? So that's where this comes in. My next point comes in. Know when they are asking which questions, right? So if they're looking for a dog trainer, for example, let's say they want to know how to get their dog to stop peeing in the house. They're not necessarily looking to hire someone right now. They have a specific question that they want answered right now. They want to know how to do this for themselves. They're not looking to hire right now. So that's one. So that's a great blog post. You can answer their question. You can demonstrate your authority and say, hey, yeah, I know how to solve this problem for you. But they're not looking to hire right now. That's why at the end of that blog post, your call to action has to be ask them to follow you on social media. Ask them to sign up for your newsletter so you can keep putting these great tips in front of them. They might not even know about other problems that their dogs have, that maybe they think is just part of having a dog or part of that breed and it can't be solved, but it can be, and you know that it can. And you can put that content in front of them and demonstrate your authority again and again and again. That's where the gold is. On the other hand, if they're searching for a dog trainer in my area, if they're searching for a dog trainer in the Chicago area, then yeah, they probably are ready to hire right now. So that's when you're ready to go for the hard sell. That is, those keywords are going to be on your sales pages, not necessarily on your blog post. Your blog post has to provide value in order to convince people that you really know what you're talking about and you really can provide the results that you say that you can. And that is, again, that's where the gold is, because people are going to try those tips that you put in your blog posts, and when they get the results, then when they are ready to hire, they'll think of you, because they'll already know. They'll already have gotten that buy-in from you that you really know what you're talking about. So when they are ready to buy, and especially if they're already following you on social media and getting your newsletter, your brand and your company will be at the top of their minds, because they'll have seen it in their inbox and in their social media feed again and again and again. That's where the gold is. So you have to take that into account. And then in your content marketing efforts, you need to focus on the emotions. People are emotional. And I know we say in the B2B space that it's more about the data and the numbers than it is about the emotions. Yeah, it is. But keep in mind that people are buying your products and services for their businesses. Like, there is no robot that is buying for this business. It's a person who wants to be successful in their business. They have this vision of themselves as this super successful business owner or IT person or HR professional, whatever it is that they do in that company. They want to be super successful in that company. So help them paint that picture in their heads and tie in your brand to that picture. Make them realize that if they buy your product or service, it's going to get them one step closer to that awesome vision that they have in their heads of them being this super successful professional. And again, if you're having a dog own, if you are a dog trainer or you sell dog products or whatever, again, paint that picture of like, wouldn't it be great if you had like the best trained dog at the dog park? You could call your dog no matter what's going on and your dog will come right to you, and all the other dog owners will be like, whoo, look at that. That dog is so well trained and so well behaved, and it will look good. It will make the dog owner look good. You'll know it's really all you, and the owner will know that it's really all you. But it's all about making them look good and making their lives easier, because having a dog that doesn't behave is a hassle, and you want to take that hassle off their shoulders. And that's what it's all about. So focus on the emotions, bring that image of themselves to life in your content marketing efforts. But again, you got to tie in your brand there. You got to make them realize that it's only with your products or services that they are going to achieve that awesome life that they are envisioning for themselves. Finally, you have to make the most of your content marketing strategy by making sure that it's actually working. And you have to do this in two ways. First, you have to define your goals and measure your results. And you have to do that for every piece of content. Your goal for your social media posts is not necessarily going to be the same as your goal for your blog posts or your sales landing page or your newsletter, right? With your newsletter, you want people to open the newsletter and click on the links and go back to your website. With social media, you want more likes and shares and follows. With your blog posts, maybe you want them to follow you on social media and or sign up for your newsletter. It's not really going to be until they get to the sales pages that you want to make sure that they are actually buying from you and becoming customers. Although, again, depending on your strategy with your social media strategy as well as your newsletter, maybe you are looking for them to buy straight from your newsletter. And again, that could depend on your business. If you're an e-commerce business where really you're only selling stuff and it's something that's fairly inexpensive. I just bought a bunch of personal care products, for example, the other day, and it was from someone's newsletter. They sent me the newsletter and I was like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to buy from them. Clicked right from the newsletter to their website, bought a bunch of stuff. So that is an example of a quickie, right? But again, that's low cost, something I've been meaning to buy anyway. If you're on the higher end, especially if you're in a service-based industry or a B2B industry, maybe people are a little more hesitant to buy your stuff right now, especially now with the economy going haywire and people not knowing where their finances are going to be in the near future. That's something to consider. So maybe they need a little more persuading, a little more reeling in before they finally buy from you. That's fine. You just got to know how to reel them in. And it's all about defining those goals and measuring your results. So again, when they do buy from you, where are they coming from? Is it a referral? Were they on your sales landing page? Did they go from your blog to your sales landing page? Did they click on your sales landing page from a post on social media? Did they click on your blog from social media? Did they find you through online searches? And if they did, what were they searching? What keywords are you showing up for that you're getting people to click on your website and click through that so that you can convert them into leads once they're convert them into customers once they're on your website? You have to know every step of the buyer journey, where your content is showing up and where it's being effective. So that's it. Those are our tips for today on what a content marketing strategy is, why you need one, and how to start implementing one for your business. right away. That's it. Again, I'm Allison Verhalen with AV Writing Services. Our website is avwritingservices.com. And if you have any questions about a content marketing strategy or blogging or keyword research or any of that, you can reach us directly at info@avwritingservices.com. That's it for me. Have a great week and happy marketing.